Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to the the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Almost said it out already that we were at the Texas Motor Speedway, but we are here at Atlanta for championship night here with the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. Al, it's been a long season to row to where we're at right now, and these boys, it has come down to just 4 drivers in this championship hunt, one of them being James Heater, one of them being James Skelton. Both of those drivers have 1 win apiece. Then the man who has 4 wins probably comes in as arguably the favorite driver in the championship hunt. That's Max Terriot. He's got 4 wins. And then there's another driver that snuck in the back door, Mr. Consistency, they call him. It's Eric Johnson. Al, 4 drivers will battle for this championship here tonight.
Season 1 for the Red Light Scrambler Series. These drivers have seen it all, from the Cup cars to the trucks, which they are racing here tonight, and even the Xfinity Series. But tonight it all ends here on the very tough and fast Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Right now, currently, just 15 drivers have registered to battle here tonight at this very hot and slick 1.5 mile. Let's take a quick gander at the race info here for tonight. It is 90 laps here tonight, and this is going to be the track conditions and layout. It's a 1.5 mile tricky track here in Atlanta. Temperatures, as always in Atlanta, are soaring into the triple digits. It is 111 degrees for the track temperature right now. And, well, there's only really 2 keys tonight to win this championship. And, well, Al, you said it best. You either got to win it or you got to finish ahead of the other competitors out there in the chase.
Yeah, so tonight we'll be covering the 4 drivers. We've gone over James Heater, Eric Johnson, James Skelton, and Max Terriot. Those 4 drivers, well, that's who's going to be hoisting the championship trophy afterwards. There is a chance that all 4 of them might end up wrecked, and whoever finishes highest, whoever can get back on the racetrack, Roger, that's going to be our champion. So it's going to be interesting to see how they race each other and how the other competitors race them. Right now, James Skelton, a championship driver, he is fastest on the record right now in practice. His practice is just starting to wind up. We'll head into qualifying. So it's going to be interesting to see here what happens with qualifying, where those 4 drivers will. But yeah, you got to finish in front of them, or you got to or you just win the race. You win the race, and then that does it for you.
Yeah, I think if it was me in this chase right now, I would rather just go ahead and lay all the cards out on the table and win the race here tonight. That'd be the easiest way to lock yourself up with the championship. And let's look at it. Drivers already out onto the track here tonight for the first time, coming out onto the raceway here in qualifying. He'll have 2 laps to lay down a lap time. It is the driver of the 18. They call him James Heater. He is out there on the raceway right now, trying to bring his machine up to snuff tonight here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Remember, 2 laps for these drivers to lay down their fastest time.
Yeah, Murdoch is the first car on the track, just a little bit ahead of James Heater. They are doing solo qualifying here, so we'll see who at the first lap is going to be. But Heater was one of the first drivers, or Skelton as well, out there trying to put down a line. So we'll see Murdoch going to come off turn number 4 for the first time, and he'll see the white flag from the flagman. So right now, Richard Murdoch will go to our provisional pole with a time of 31.41. Right now, it'll be Max Terriot, the number 42, jumping up to the top spot. But just as quick, James Heater will take the top spot from him.
So right now, 3 of your championship contenders, they run currently on track 1, 2, and 3. So we will see where the Dirty Mo Radio 33. This is Eric Johnson that you see now here in his Chevrolet Silverado. He is coming down the back straightaway. He is on his first timed lap here this evening as he goes down into turns 3 and 4. Right down there, right around the bottom, that is where everybody is going to want to be tonight. That is going to be the fast way around this Atlanta Motor Speedway. He'll come across the line. Let's see where he's going to be able to slot himself in. It'll be currently on his first lap, 5th quickest. There's only Richard Murdoch that separates the Eric Johnson. Now Joe Strano in that green forestry supply, number 43. He now goes to that 5th position, and then, well, Todd Cray also comes up here as you saw Strano go into the outside wall. Todd Cray, last season's champion, not battling for a championship here tonight in the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series, but he is here to try and at least win this race.
Next driver up on the speedway is the draft tops, number 948 of Michael Bromley. He comes off turn number 4 and across the stripe. He'll be on his first time lap this time, but I will see what the draft top will come in as he comes down to turn number 1, right down to that white line. Roger, I imagine in tonight's race, we will see them from the white line all the way up to that white wall in the corners as this track will grind away the tires. They'll be searching for grip all over the speedway. Bromley going to break down to that about half a car length off the bottom. Now make it a car length. He gets that momentum built up in that Chevy Silverado off turn number 4. We'll see where Bromley will slide in on lap number 1. He'll be 13th quick out of 13 drivers that have attempted to take time right at the current moment.
Next driver out onto the speedway drives the number 30 Toyota. It's the RB Custom Sim Rigs Toyota Tundra. Halfway through the year, this team switched manufacturers over to the Toyota, and it's been good for them. The number 30 here of Justin Gann is now currently slotted into the 8th position. That'll be the 14th driver to take time here tonight. Josh Buckley is the only other driver who has not turned in a qualifying lap here tonight. As you see, all 14 on the left-hand side, you can exactly see where they are and their quick times as they scroll across the top of our screen here as we continue to watch the driver of this number 30 Toyota entry here tonight. He will come across the line, and this will be his second timed lap. Isn't going to be any faster, just going to be a tick slower for Justin Gann. So it'll be 8th quickest out of the 14 trucks, and I don't believe with under a minute to go, Josh Buckley will be able to put down a qualifying time here tonight. So James Heater, Max Terriel, James Skelton, 3 of your championship contenders will start 1, 2, and 3 on the grid here tonight.
Yeah, so 3 of our championship contenders inside the top 4. Richard Murdoch there. So the driver, Eric Johnson, starting 9th. Roger, it is 90 laps in distance here tonight. So a lot of time to get where they need to go. But he's going to be starting behind his championship battles.
But he still has a good starting spot as he'll start there in that 9th position. That's been about an average starting spot for the driver of that Dirty Mo Radio 33, as qualifying officially does run the clock out here. So James Heater, as you see the time kind of change here in the sim on the iRacing.com platform. We got to welcome everybody in here to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is championship night as the qualifying has wrapped up. That means it is getting about time for us to take to the grid here tonight, and let's walk you through your starting lineup. Starting on the front row, he is one of your chase contenders out of Ohio. It is going to be the number 18 of James Heater. He has 1 win on the season, and starting right alongside him with 4 wins on the season, he hails out of Canada. It's the 42. That is Max Terriel. Starting right behind them with 1 win to his name out of South Carolina, he goes by the name of James Skelton in the 86. He'll start 3rd here tonight. Driving for the Full Throttle Racing Team, he lives right down the road from James Skelton. He is not a championship contender, but that is the Adventure in Pixels 01 of Richard Murdoch. Starting 5th, it was last year's champion out of New Jersey. It's the Clocks by Christopher. Infinite Hero number 22, that is Todd Cray. Behind them, starting in the 6th position, having his best starting spot of the season here at Atlanta, it is going to be the 43. It's the Green Forest Tree Supply. That is Joe Strano. Nathan Maurer, the driver out of Pennsylvania in the Bully Dog 71. He'll start there 7th. Then, starting 8th in the RB Custom Rigs entry Toyota, it's the 30 of Justin Gann. Then, your other championship contender, the man who pointed his way into the race here tonight, it is going to be the 33 of Eric Johnson. He'll start 9th. Rounding out the top 10, driving for the Full Throttle Racing Team, it's the Minto Needs a Minute. It's the number 20 of Brandon Minto.
Starting on the inside of row number 6, all the way from Australia in that 184 car, that is Kevin O'Brien in the Ford F-150. Starting to his outside will be the Stanos Brother Racing entry, number 3, that is Tony Strano. He'll go from your 12th starting position. Starting on the inside of row number 7 will be the 913 of Donald Bennett. To his outside, the 948, the draft top entry, Chevy Silverado, that is Michael Bromley. And starting 15th, shotgun on the field in that Miller Lite entry, the Need for Speed Motorsports, number 2, that is Josh Buckley. That is your 15-car starting field here tonight on championship night for the Red Light Scrambler Series.
Right here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway, you're going to see the tailgaters hit the gas here in just a couple of minutes for 90 laps of hardcore nose-to-nose, side-to-side truck action. What a better place than right here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Some series start at Daytona and run all the way to Miami Homestead. This season, we started at the high banks of Talladega, the super speedway with the trucks, and now we will wind things out here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway with the trucks here once again. Johnny Pacer going to bring him down pit road here with that Silverado Pace truck. He makes the left-hand turn. We are ready now, set, locked, and loaded to go 90 laps to determine a champion here tonight as the green flag is waving on championship night.
Side-by-side Theriot on the outside, trying to keep even with Heater and that M&M's number 18. Down on the bottom it'll be Heater jumping out to your early race lead with the 86 of Skelton holding to that back bumper off of turn number 2. For the first time, they'll come roaring down the backstretch into turn number 3.
Yeah, that 18 M&M's Toyota will surge ahead. That will put the two championship contenders of Theriot and Skelton side by side as they work through turns 3 and 4 for the first time here tonight. Back across the start-finish line to lead lap number 1. James Heater will lead the lap number 1 here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Max Theriot still stuck to the outside in that number 42 Silverado. Look at Todd Gray, Richard Murdoch. It is like super speedway racing right now. Everybody is still right here in a pack.
Yeah, they're running nose to tail. The top 3 now running nose to tail, but it is the number 01 of Murdoch. He's outside of that Adventuresome Pixel. He's on an adventure on the outside of the 22 of Todd Gray. He works to the inside. Cray's going to take them as they're still side by side. And right behind them is that Green Forest Supply, number 43. That is Joe Strano in the 6th position.
They will come off of turn number 2. The front 3 cars have gone single file here. They are still trying to figure out who will have it. As the Adventure and Pixels 01 of Murdoch will surge ahead down the back straightaway, but here comes the Infinite Hero. Clocks by Christopher Trump 2020, number 22. Back down to the inside. He will not be able to find the grip. Murdoch will power around on the outside. Now here comes the 33 of Eric Johnson. He has got to the inside on Joe Strano that time out of turn number 4. The Dirty Mo Radio trying to pass the Green Forest Tree Supply entry here. Joe Strano going to lose a spot. Here comes Eric Johnson. Don't count him out yet, race fans. He is up 3 positions. He is the biggest mover here at Atlanta.
Yeah, he just got around Strano. The Dirty Mo Radio number 33 now is trying to work on that Infinite Hero number 22 of Todd Gray. They all hug that white line this week. We'll call it that the Harvick line as he works down here, but it is still out front. It is James Heater, but Theriot is closing in on that as they work through the corner. But there it'll be Eric Johnson in that 33. He's trying to claw as he knows his 3 championship contestants that are with him are right there in the top 3.
Nose tail with Murdoch in tow for the time being. It is Joe Strano up to the outside here as here comes the 71. Be a Bully. It's the Bully Dog 71 of Nathan Maurer out of Pennsylvania. He's got that truck tuned up. He was one of the chase contenders. He made it to the round of 8, but that was where the Cinderella story kind of fell off the wagon for Nathan Maurer. He was the first driver to miss the cut into the championship hunt by just a measly 2 points, as now he is trying to ride for a little bit of pride here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. He runs right behind Joe Strano. Strano having in the first 5 laps of this race one of the best races he has had all season. Everybody, though, taking a look through the field, has gone single file as right now Donald Bennett just back there trying to take care of the Turn 3 Racing Network 913. It sounds like it may be a little bit down on power. A little contact, it looks like, a little damage to that right rear of that 913 currently.
Yeah, the right rear quarter panel pushed in a little bit on that Turn 3 Motorsports car. They work down the backstretch. Buckley on the move as he is up 4 positions in that number 2. Just got around Kevin O'Brien. He'll put him into the 11th spot. The next truck on the list for him to get by is the 20 with that Brandon Minto in the Barstool Sports number 20.
Yeah, it's kind of a lookalike Fords out there. You gotta take a quick look at both those trucks to determine who is who, because both of them driving Ford F-150s here tonight, and both of them having the Miller light paint schemes. You see Buckley having the old, call it a throwback to the 4th of July weekend that we just had here in the United States. And happy 4th of July to everybody tuning in here, because you know what? It's still the 4th of July week to me.
It still is, yeah. Hopefully everybody's still got their 10 fingers out there and enjoying tonight's race as we have put lap 8 in the books, working lap number 9. You see Buckley working a little bit of a higher entry, but then right down to that white line off the corner as he is right there in front of the number 20 of Minto. But up front, Max Stereo is just stalking James Heater right now. Do you think right now Stereo is just kind of holding the line, trying to figure out where am I a little bit better than that Toyota at the moment?
Yeah, Max is one of those drivers. He will sit there and he will ride behind you. He will learn your line. He will learn your weaknesses. Here, with just 9 laps completed, still have a long way to go in this one and a lot of data to gather if you're the driver of the 42. You are going for your 2nd championship ever in the red light racing Scrambler division of things. So right now, he is just kind of sitting there riding around trying to figure out where the mistake is going to be made by that number 18 here tonight.
And he's in a good spot. Right now he knows he's 2nd in the championship standings right now. As he takes a peek to the inside, now we'll go to the high side down in the turn number 1, trying to get some clean air on the front of that Chevy Silverado to get that truck to turn. He knows he's got James Skelton right there in the number 3 spot, and Eric Johnson has cracked the top 5. He's 1 spot behind the 0-1 of Richard Murdoch. So Eric Johnson quickly coming to the front.
Yeah, he had put a lot of practice time in this week. I talked to him over the week, and he said that this race probably meant more to him than anything. To put himself, step 1 was put himself into this championship hunt, especially with the names that you have, like Max Terriol and James Skelton, James Heater. 2 of them drivers do have championships here in the Red Light Scrambler Series, and he would like to add his name now upon those drivers and always cement himself into the history here with the Red Light Racing series all in all. But right now, there are still 4 drivers that separate him from a championship, and 3 of them are ahead of him currently that he is battling.
Working lap 12 is in the books now, working lap 13 of this 90-lap affair here at the 1.5 mile Speedway in Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we're starting to see the line start. Drivers are starting to search around for a little bit more grip. As now Eric Johnson's going to take a bit to the inside of Murdoch off turn number 2. Can't make anything stick this time down the backstretch. Is Todd Cray right there behind him as well in car number 22.
Yeah, you don't want to step out of line right now as Todd Cray stalks that 30-mo Radio 33 into turns 3 and out of turn number 4. Cray looks like he can get off the corner a little bit better than that 33, but it is just a roadblock in front of him right now. Here as we work lap number 14, probably looking at another 10 laps before we will see green flag pit cycles here tonight. All 15 drivers still out there on the track. All 15 drivers still on the lead lap here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway as they work back down the back straightaway. Joe Strano right now in the 43 machine. He has started to fall through the field. He's now running back there in the 9th position. He right now has lost more positions than any other driver on the track. Working their way up through the field. 2 drivers are tied with the biggest mover so far of the race. One of them is Josh Buckley, and one of them is your championship hopeful of Eric Johnson.
Yeah, both those drivers starting to make their way up through. Johnson still applying the pressure to Murdoch, but it's kind of early right now. You can't really step on the line. You can get yourself into trouble, because that was one of the keys here tonight. You got to stay out of trouble, and you got to beat the other 3 competitors. Right now, Eric Johnson is doing one of those 2, Roger, as he's right there behind, following that Adventures in Pixel 01 of Richard Murdoch.
They're come by this time. They will complete lap number 15. It's been one man out front all night here in the early stages of this one. It is the driver of the 18, the Low Line Racing M&M's Toyota Tundra here tonight. He has led every lap of this one. He started on the pole, and he still holds that top spot tonight. Will he be able to hold on, though? How long is going to be the question here as we look back. That is Max Terriol right there. He is still there. You see Murdoch up behind him, a little bit up the track that time, and right down along that white line, that's the 22 of Todd Cray as we ride on board with James Heater, looking back on the rest of the competitors here tonight.
Yeah, you see Max Terriol getting really close to him down in the corner, and then peeks that nose of that Chevy Silverado up to the high side and kind of diamonds it back down, trying to get a run off the banking, but able to stay within a half a car length of that back bumper as they work down the back stretch in the turn numbers 3, So right now the drivers all pretty even right now as they work through the corner and off of turn number 4 to put lap number 17 in the books. This race is going to come quickly. Roger, do you think someone short pits and that forces the hand of your competitors? Because you know how much tires are going to be. Right now, they've already fell off almost 2 complete seconds from the start of this race.
I think if you're going to see anybody try to use pit strategy here tonight, it's going to be the 33 of Eric Johnson. Remember, he comes into the night. He is the underdog story of the year. No wins. The only thing that he has to his name that some of the others don't, that is 6 top 5s. And, well, 13 top 10s. That led the most out of every driver this season in the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. Those 13 top 10s is what got him here to championship night, but you see a big movement there. The 33 of Johnson going to go up the track. I think the handling has gone away from this Silverado. Remember, he had to come from the 9th position. He was running inside the top 5. Now he is back into that 6th position. Look for anybody. If they're going to pull pit strategy here tonight, it's going to be Eric Johnson.
Yeah, he works that number 33 Chevy Silverado behind the Infinite Hero number 22 of Todd Cray as they come off the corner. And right now, maybe just trying to feel it out, trying to look a couple different lines. That line, you see him going into the corner way up high, trying to figure out if he can carry the speed, if the traction's up there, as he works the high side of the speedway off turn number 2.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the outside lane has come in just yet for the 33 of Johnson, though. He continues to lose pace with the 22 of Todd Cray. Cray has actually started to pull back in Richard Murdoch because he had started to pull away from the 22 and the 33 there for a little bit. So he'll try and chip back away at that half a second gap that Murdoch was able to put on top of him. And then he'll try and chip back into that 1.5 second lead that James Heater has over him. You see the Dirty Mo Radio 33 still up against the outside fence here, trying to run what is known as the Kyle Larson line. A lot of drivers try and go up to the top, and they assort that with Kyle Larson and all the dirt racing that he does, and he just kind of goes up at the dirt tracks. He rips the lip. I had a pleasure just the other day, Al, of going out to the dirt tracks here in Pennsylvania, watching Young Money run the lip, as here comes Todd Cray down pit road.
Yeah, Todd Cray was going to come down pit road. He'll be our first of the lead drivers to come down pit road. Rose running in the 6th position. So he goes down pit road at a very slow 52 miles an hour. So going to hit his pit box and he's going to slide it in there. So the crew is going to go to work on the number 22 as he is on pit road for the first of our drivers to hit, as the leaders will come racing by off turn number 4.
Now it looks like here comes the 42. Max Terriel will be the next one to peel off onto pit lane here tonight. So he'll bring the 42 down pit road. He'll also drag the 33 of Eric Johnson down. Here comes the 2 of Josh Buckley. He locks up that Ford F-150 as he was carrying a lot of speed off turn number 4. Everybody else going to go around. So another round of green flag pit cycle starting here on lap 23. Call it lap 22 is when they really started here tonight when Todd Cray pulled that 22. Clocks by Christopher, Infinite Hero, 22 down pit road. So now we'll see, will James Heater come this time by? He is slower on the track. Here comes both Jameses. Here comes Donald Bennett, also down pit road. So another 3 drivers going to pit this time by here on lap 24. And I think Joe Strano was trying to make it to pit road, and he's going to miss pit road through the grass. Now he's going to find pit road. That's going to be a penalty, unsafe pit entry for the 43 of Joe Strano.
Tough break for the number 43 Estrano as our race leader, James Heater, going to hit the box in the number 1 stall. The right side of the truck going to go up. The tires are being changed on M&M's Toyota Tundra. Down and away to the left side, second can of Sunoco fuel going in that Toyota Tundra. He is down and away and about even with James Skelton, but it'll be the number 18 of James Heater going to jump out in front of him, but we'll have to see. Todd Cray has not passed them yet, as now they are getting passed on track. So going to be a new race leader once we get side by side, though, Roger, for the eventually going to be our race lead, Max Dario. Todd Cray side by side down the backstretch.
Yeah, those 2 Silverados will battle down the back straightaway into turn number 3 with the 42 of Terriel down low. Justin Gann, who's just out in front of it. Wow, look how close that was. The miscommunication between the spotters there as the RB Riggs custom rigs machine was coming down pit road, and Justin Gann was able to get there. Brandon Minto will come down pit road also here. So another 2 drivers. It looks like we're just waiting for Michael Bromley here. He comes in the drafttop.com, number 948. He'll bring her down pit road. And I believe that's going to cycle things back through to Richard Murdoch possibly here as he missed the pits. He missed pit road, and that's what put him back into that position. Now coming off turn 4, your new leader here tonight, the 42 of Max Terriel.
Yeah, Terriel's going to come out. The big winner on that one is he'll take over the race lead, but he's got the number 22 of Todd Cray all over the back bumper as they come off of turn number 2. About 2 truck lengths separating your top 2. James Heater, our early race leader, has led the first 20 or so laps of this one. He's back in 3rd. James Skelton 4th, and Eric Johnson will round out your top 5 as we have completed our first round of green flag pit stops.
So now just doing the quick math here, Al, even the last driver to hit pit road was 26 laps on fuel. We're not going to be able to make it with just one more pit stop here tonight. You're going to actually looking like you're still going to have to make 3 pit stops to be able to make the rest of the way on fuel if we stay green flag racing. The field has started to stretch themselves out here as they come into turn number 3. They will complete, when they come by the start-finish line, the 27th lap of the race.
Yeah, it'll be the 42 Ethereal working off of turn number 4 as your race leader, Todd Cray, just about 2/10 off the back bumper. Then it's another about 8/10 a second back to our 3rd place driver. That's the M&M Toyota Tundra. That is James Heater. He runs there in our 3rd position after that round of pit stops. James Skelton right there as well as they work off the corner. They're working around the 184 of Kevin O'Brien.
Yeah, looking at James Heater's lap times, remember he pitted 1 lap after Max Terriel. Terriel was able to gain a lead here in the early stages after the green flag pit cycle. But last time by, James Heater was the fastest truck on track. Let's take a look, and it is, once again, he is the fastest truck on track by 1/10 of a second currently.
And right now, the fastest lap of the race is going to go to that James Heater with a 31.34. Is a blistering pace around here, but very close with Max Terriel, who is our race leader. And Eric Johnson also down in that 31.3 with a fast lap of the race. So everybody pretty close right now, but Theriot starting to stretch it out almost to a half a second over our 2nd place runner, Todd Cray.
Yeah, you see right here on screen, though, you find the 01 of Richard Murdoch. He is trying to dig himself out of a hole right now. He is down a lap currently to your race leader of Max Terriel. Murdoch is back here running in that 12th position after the green flag pit cycle, and Joe Strano was popped out for an unsafe pit entry as he missed pit road, the commitment cone. He had the choice to go all the way back around or come into pit road and serve a penalty. That penalty, though, it was a big one, a 30-second hold penalty for Joe Strano. Also getting that same penalty, Kevin O'Brien and Donald Bennett, all 3 of them drivers getting popped for late entries into pit road.
Yeah, it's one of probably the toughest pit entries to use right now as James Heater is getting around Todd Cray. So Heater trying to chase down Max Terriot, who is, well, I think he's stretching his legs right now, and they're in full go mode right now, Roger.
Yeah, I don't think if you're a championship contender, as in Terriot, Heater, Skelton, or Johnson, that you're going to hold anything back at this point. It is all go, especially since the trucks have got stretched out here now at Atlanta. It's either go or you're going to be left behind, and Max Terriot right now is letting everybody, kind of sit in the wind currently. James Heater did pull into that 2nd position, and he is still faster than your race leader. Let's check the timing and scoring here this time by. It's a 32.8 for Max Terriot to a 32.1, so that 1 lap fresher tires for James Heater, plus sniffing the draft off that 42, it is pulling him right back up here to be a 2-horse race here. Possibly, as the 42 is into the wall down the straightaway, that's going to bring James Heater right to the back bumper.
Yeah, a little bit of just a miscalculation for the 42 as he's got a little bit of right side damage now on that Chevy Silverado. Here comes the Toyota Tundra of James Heater. He is applying the pressure down here in the turn number 1. Right to the back trunk lid they go as they work to the tailgate off of turn number 2. Heater is there. He's going to take a bit to the inside, this time off turn number 2.
Yeah, right to the back bumper of that Chevrolet. Right now, he knows the 42 is wounded as they work down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Al, if you're the 18. You know the 42 is wounded at this point. Do you pounce and get around him, or do you play the strategy knowing he's going to be a little bit slower? Do you sit there and save fuel now behind that Chevrolet?
Save some fuel. Maybe you ran your tires a little bit hard trying to get to the back bumper of that stereo machine. As they work off of turn number 2 once again, we can see how James Heater is just a little bit better in the center of the corner right now, but he elects to stay behind that 42 as they go down into turn number 3.
There you see the 01 of Richard Murdoch come into the picture in the adventure in Pixels 01. He'll go to the outside. Remember, he's got fresher tires than everybody. He's trying to dig himself out of a hole. He's trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way, and he'd be the first one we've seen go to the outside and make a pass here tonight. He will unlap himself. Richard Murdoch back onto the lead lap for the time being. The 01 is now still shown in 12th position. Now back on the lead lap as he has Max Terrill and James Heater in tow now around this Atlanta Motor Speedway.
If Darrell can stay in that draft, it could be his best friend to try to help save a little bit of fuel to stretch it out. But now, just as we say that, Heater going to take to the inside, side by side for the race lead here in the turn number 1. Heater with the M&M's Toyota Tundra. He'll take the lead back over from Max Stereo. Stereo tucks it right back in line, trying to do the crossover, but can't quite do it this time off turn 2.
He is right there. He's going to peek to the inside. He's going to put the truck right back behind the number 18 there of Heater as they go into turn number 3. I think the Richard Murdoch 01 packed a little air on that 42, and with that damage on the right side of that Chevrolet, he was not expecting the aero push that came to the 42. That's what allowed James Heater to get down to the inside. It was almost kind of the inevitable. Sooner or later, James Heater was going to get to the inside with those fresher tires and the clean nose of that Toyota Tundra. But now, you know, with Murdoch getting around him, that just kind of amplified it, and he is now in chase mode, trying to chase back down James Heater.
Trying to chase him down, and he knows right behind him is James Skelton, as he is closing in on this duo as well as they work off turn number 4. You can just see the 18 just a little bit better at the moment, Roger. You really think that damage is starting to hamper that? Well, how much damage and how much time will it take to pull out those fenders on that front of that 42 as they work through the corner? How about Eric Johnson still back there in our 5th position? He is trying to claw his way in, but he's got a little bit of right rear damage and right side damage on that Dirty Mo Radio number 33.
Yeah, it looks like he got tight out of turn number 4, I'm hearing, and that actually put the Dirty Mo Radio 33 up into the outside wall. So now it's going to be a tough road to hoe here for the 33 of Eric Johnson. You know, he played the pit strategy. He was one of the first drivers to come down pit road. Now he is going to have to wait to see if he can now play a little more strategy, because right behind him, that is Justin Gann in the RB Custom Rigs machine. He is sitting there running in the 6th position. 1 position back, that is going to be the 71. That is Nathan Maurer. He is having a quiet night. Started in the 7th spot here as we work upon the halfway point. He is still sitting in that 7th spot. Biggest mover of the race. There you see him coming across the camera there down the back straightaway. That is going to be the number 2 Miller Lite entry snap-on tools of Joshua Buckley, and he even has some right front damage on that Ford F-150.
Yeah, built Ford tough though, Roger. Don't have to worry about that Miller Lite Ford F-150 as he comes across the line, as we are nearing the halfway point of this race very quickly. All green flag laps so far, and these guys are putting on one well of a show for us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. Hopefully you're enjoying it there while you watch, as we are going to crown a champion in just over 45 laps.
Yeah, it looks like here we'll come back across the line here in that Toyota M&M's Tundra here. He has opened up about a half-second gap back to the man who is chasing him in the championship hunt. It is heads-up racing here at Atlanta for 4 drivers, 1 championship on the line. James Heater, Max Terrill, James Skelton, Eric Johnson. That is how the points, if they were to end right now, would shake out here in the standings. Heater going to come around this time. He'll lead lap 42, and he'll look upon trying to put down the driver of the 948 drafttop.com entry. That is Michael Bromley. Right now, Michael Bromley running back there into the 12th position currently here tonight. He is trying to run back down Richard Murdoch, who was able to get around him on those fresher tires. Bromley going to lose the nose down there in turns 1 and 2, way up the track. Now he's going to move over because here comes the race leader. The 18 of Heater is hot to trot as he'll go to the inside in turn number 3.
Yeah, Heater will go to the bottom as Bromley does the gentleman thing, gets up out of the way, knows that these gentlemen are racing for the championship. He'll slide in between himself and Theriot as Heater will get by, putting lap 43 in the books. One more lap closer to the halfway point of this race being official if weather were to come into the area here in Atlanta. Right now they work around the corner and Max Theriot going to work underneath Bromley, this time off of turn number 2. Swings it up high, almost contact off the corner. Bromley a little bit out of shape down the backstretch.
Yeah, it looked like Max Theriot that time had to jump off the gas in his Silverado. That's going to allow not only James Heater to kind of pull away, that's going to bring James Skelton right into it. Oh, late entry into pit road for Max Theriot. Almost checked up the Skelton machine up into Michael Bromley as they were 3 wide exiting turn number 4. Second round of green flag pit cycle is going to start right here as the 42 of Theriot gonna short pit here for the second time tonight. He will not be able to go from this point to the end of the race, though, on fuel.
No, Theriot's going to come down and hit his mark in box number 2 on pit road. Crew going around to the right side, pulling out that right front fender on that Maximine number 42 machine. The right side's already changed. Fender pulled out over onto the left side. Second can of Sunoco race fuel going into 42. He's down in the way as the rest of your race leaders are coming down pit road.
Yeah, it looks like here comes the 18 of Heater. Here comes the 86 of Skelton. There you see Buckley down on the way in the Miller Lite F4 or Ford F-150 machine. He'll beat the leaders off pit road here as they come down. So for the time being, it looks like there's one other driver. I believe that's the 22 of Todd Cray. That now hands the race lead over to the driver of the number 30. That is Justin Gann as your race leader, but it sounds like he is off the gas. Is he going to be coming this time? He is not. He has Max Theriot right behind him. Here comes that 42 of Max Theriot trying to unlap himself as Heater going to come out of pit road to the M&M's 18. He'll win the battle out of pit road. Somebody into the outside wall there.
That was the 184 Kevin O'Brien. He had to check up, getting into the corner, got crossed up in front. And I believe there might have been contact with the number 30 again. Or Bromley is now O'Brien back in the wall down the backstretch. So he already had some right side damage. Now some major damage to that F-150.
Yeah, the unsponsored entry here out of Australia. He wakes up in the morning, drinks a cup of coffee, and hops on the old iRacing platform. And now he's going to lock it up coming on the pit road. He's not going to hit the wall, but Kevin O'Brien's troubles will continue. We'll have to see. He may have been speeding coming onto pit road.
Tough night for the driver, or tough morning, depending on how you look at that. For the driver from Australia, he's down on pit road. Going to get his tires changed and possibly fix some of that damage. Right now, Nathan Maurer is our race leader in that Bully Dog 971, but he'll slow up in front of the 22 of Todd Gray, and he'll be coming down pit road. So that'll put Richard Murdoch, who was last on pit road on lap 25, as we are now past the halfway point, is now Maurer coming down pit road for service.
So with Maurer coming down pit road, that'll leave Richard Murdoch in the Adventure in Pixels. Land and Body Photography 01 out of Somerville, South Carolina, still out here on the raceway. He'll take over the race lead here. Remember, he was last on pit road, like you said, Al, on lap 25. So he could still go a couple of laps here farther than the rest of the field, and then that will turn things back over to Max Theriot. And actually, Theriot is coming on his horse right now. That truck is tuned up. He has a 1.5 second gap back to the 18 of James Heater, and he would like to take the race lead and run away and hide with it now.
Yeah, he'll work to the outside of the Adventures in Pixels 01 of Murdoch. You can just see the difference in the speed and tires as Max Theriot will blow by him on the outside as they work down in the turn number 1. Theriot back to your race lead here on lap 49.
So Theriot now trying to run away, but that number 18 of James Heater is coming, and he's actually going to catch Murdoch in a pretty good spot. Oh, almost gets crossed up, though. Murdoch going to lift, and Heater's going to go down to the inside. Now it's just a 1 second gap for the driver of the 18 till he runs back up upon the number 42 of Max Theriot. Richard Murdoch going to be coming down pit road here. Sideways for the driver of the Adventure in Pixels. He has taken an adventure here tonight.
Max Theriot jumping out to your race lead. It is Heater in the number 2 spot. Todd Cray third. Justin Gann in that RB Custom Rigs number 30. All the way up to your 4th spot. Up 4 spots since the drop of this green flag is Richard Murdoch and Michael Bromley will end our second cycle of pits here just past the halfway point, and it is the number 42 of Max Stereo showing the way, Roger. The crew did a nice job. The right front looks fairly brand new on that 42. They did a good job pulling out that right front fender.
So as they carry around the raceway here on lap 52 after the green flag pit cycles have cycled through, let's take you through your top drivers here now tonight. Driving the 42, he is in the championship hunt. He is now currently running P number 1 on the board here. Max Terriel trying to run away from James Heater, who is running in that second position. They both started on the front row here. Right now, Terriel and Heater have flip-flopped, two of your championship contenders. But James Heater, last couple laps, he has been the fastest truck on the raceway, so he will run back down Max Terriel here sooner than later. Running in the third spot, the Clocks by Christopher machine. He is up 2 spots. It's the Infinite Heroes. He's been into the outside wall once or twice here tonight. He is Todd Cray. He is running in the third spot. Justin Gann having one of his best runs of the season. He is up 4 spots. He is running the RB Custom Rigs machine. He is in the 4th spot. Another one of your championship contenders, that is Eric Johnson. He is running now into the 5th position. And, oh boy, I'm just getting word, Al. James Skelton, too fast entering pit road. He was held 30 seconds. He is way back into the 11th position. The night now for James Skelton may have been over on pit road.
Yeah, tough break for the driver that runs in our 11th position. He is shown 1 lap down, and with this race being clean, he's got to pass 3 cars, Roger, to take and get back onto the lead lap here. So his night, just about the championship, about kissed it goodbye with a mistake on pit road here as he runs in the 11th position. How about in 6th spot, Nathan Maurer? We've talked about it a couple times tonight. Having a quiet night, started in the 7th position, now runs in your 6th position with that 971. And how about Minto? He's running right there. The 2 F-150s are running nose to tail and running in the 7th position. That's Brandon Minto. Right behind him is Josh Buckley in the 8th position. Tony Strano runs in 9th and is the final car on the lead lap.
So Tony Strano having a good run. He is right now bettering of the 2 Stranos, as Joe Strano, remember, started inside the top 10. Well, he is back to running in the 13th spot. Tony, though, running in the 9th. So the Strano brothers race team right now being led by the driver of that number 3 here tonight. So with that being all said, Murdoch is actually running in the 10th position. He is the top 10. But he is currently 1 lap down once again to our race leader of Max Terriel. That is how the top 10 shakes out here on lap 57 after that next round of green flag pit cycle. Al, and now that that pit cycle is done, here's the battle for the race lead, because here comes James Heater once again looking into turn number 3. He has caught Max Terriel. Remember, Terriel 1 lap older tires than James Heater.
Yeah, right now they're working off the corner, and Heater is there. He'll cut to the inside, can't quite make the move that time off of turn number 4. He'll keep it back in line, but Heater was over a second behind Max Stereo and has chased him down. So maybe Stereo has a little bit of suspension damage with after that contact. The truck looks fairly clean as they work down the backstretch. Heater now taking a peek down low. Well, tuck it back in line. Nothing going this time in the turn number 3.
Remember last time these two were running nose to tail with Max Terriel out front on the older tires. James Heater got around Max Terriel with a little help from a lap down car. Will we see lap traffic play a role here, as it'll just be 40 laps to go next time by, 30 laps to go. 40, I'm a little behind myself here. I want more racing action here tonight.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that the season is coming to a close here tonight with the Red Light Scrambler series, but you can catch the Red Light series on Thursday nights as you bring the action of the SK Modified series on Thursday. So the Red Light Scrambler series going to take a few weeks off, Roger, and then they're going to be back at it here before we know it.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next season, but I can't wait to figure out who's going to win the battle for the championship hunt, because it has really now come down to just 2 drivers. Yes, Eric Johnson is still out there on the lead lap, but he is back there in the 5th position, 12 seconds behind this duo that are battling it out here tonight. This time by, to be 30 laps to go in this one for Max Terriel and James Heater. At this point, I think Heater is just playing the low-line game, if you catch the play on words there for the low line racing entry. Here he comes down, sniffing to the inside of Terriot. He is not going to be able to do it this time on the front straightaway. He still knows he has to make one more pit stop here tonight. He may be just kind of riding there, trailing the number 42, and right before the fuel window, you might see him step out of line, or right here, because he's got a great run coming out of turn 2.
He's putting the heat right to the back bumper of Max Stereo as they work down to the turn number 3. It is Stereo, Heater, your top 2. Those drivers, they know a championship is on the line. Will the gloves come off? I would say they're already off. This time now the 18 of Heater are going to take a peek to the inside once again down the front tri-oval into turn number 1. He'll go, makes a little bit higher of an entry in. Able to get that good run through 1 and 2. Off of turn number 2, he'll be about a half a truck length off the back bumper of Therio.
There you see the 43 of Joe Strano into the picture. He is not on the same lap as your race leaders, but he is right there. He is currently just 2 laps down, running in the 13th position. It has not been the night for the driver of that Green Forestry Supply entry plan B. As look, here comes Heater down to the inside, almost clipping a little piece of that grass. Last time we were at one of these 1.5-mile tracks, we saw a driver right off the get-go. Josh Buckley hit that grass marker. As you see Buckley back here running in the 8th position. Remember, from the drop of the green flag out, it was a rough night because Josh Buckley not only did it once, he did it twice that night. Same thing could happen here tonight at Atlanta.
Definitely could, and the grass is not very kind. You get out there, it snaps you around, and the next thing you know, you're in the infield care center, and that is not a place that you want to be on championship night. As we watch the number 2 of Buckley work behind the 913 of Donald Bennett down the backstretch here in Minto, running a quiet race there in the 7th spot. Roger, that Barstool Sports Miller Lite Ford F-150 entries, they work off turn number 4.
Check back on the race leaders. They are still nose to tail. It is still Max Terriot, James Heater as they work back into turn number 3. Heater chooses a little bit higher entry, but is able to close the gap on entry. But then off the corner, that 42 looks like it is strong off the corner that time by out of turn number 4. He'll lead another one here. It'll just be 26 laps to go. We are in the final stages here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I expect to see some of the drivers maybe force your hand, talking about maybe an Eric Johnson. They can go 25 laps on a tank of fuel. If you stretch it out, maybe we'll see if someone's short pit within the next lap or 2. These 2 drivers up front, though, are putting the pressure on each other. Dale has to be perfect. Heater putting the pressure, trying to force the mistake off turn number 4. Not this time, but Heater with a nice run. He'll take a peek down low.
Yeah, it's not going to be good enough, though, for that low-line racing 18. I think the tires are starting to really equalize here now on the longer run. Last time they were down pit road, it was on lap 44 and lap 47. Justin Gann actually has the freshest tires inside that top 3. He just worked his way around 2 laps ago around that Todd Gray machine, which gave Gann the 3rd spot. He is up into the position number 3 and seeing if he can start to really run back down anybody here tonight. He is currently running 3rd. It's one of the best runs he has had all season. Here comes Max Terriot. He'll lock him up. He'll come to pit road first with 24 laps to go.
Max Terriot going to come down pit road, which will probably be the last time we see the driver from Canada on pit road, as he's going to hit his box down here, stall number 2, as he hits it perfectly this time into the box. The crew working around to the right side of that number 42. Last time we'll see him on pit road with just 24 laps to go.
Now the question being, though, when will James Heater come down pit road? We don't have to wait too long because here comes the M&M's Toyota Tundra. He now hits pit road, and, well, he's got to stay there within tow of the number 40 as Max Terriot is down on the way. It was a 4-tire stop, and it was actually pretty slow for the driver of that 42.
Yeah, maybe fixing a little bit extra damage there. They knew he had a big enough lead over the 3rd place driver, so possibly all perfect for the 18 Heater. He hits his mark, crew around to the right side of that M&M's Tundra. The right side's complete, over to the left side. Second can of Sunoco race fuel going in to the 18, and it's down and away for the number 18 of James Heater. A good stop as they come off off pit road.
That was a 14.95 second pit stop for James Heater. Max Terriot, there you go. You see him go right around the outside. It was a 15.27 stop, so almost well called, about a quarter of a second there. Slower of a stop for Terriot, but he is going to have a massive lead here now the rest of the way. That 42 is sailing Justin Gann currently has the race lead with 22 laps to go. We will see if he will bring the RB Custom Rigs machine down pit road this time, as he looks like he is on the brakes. A little sideways, a little bobble action out of turn number 4. He gets it wound up. That Toyota Tundra will make its final pit stop here tonight.
Max Sale going to work to the back bumper of the 01 Murdoch. He'll make quick work of the Adventures in Pixels 01. So he works down the backstretch. That was for the 3rd position. So there now coming through turns 3 and 4. Your race leader is Nathan Maurer, who's just coming off turn number 2, but still yet the pit. So Justin Gann still on pit road as Dario is going to flash by him. So the race lead is going to come back to Dario, but Heater really lost a lot of ground staying out one extra lap, maybe caught a little off guard with an audible pulled by the 42 Ethereal.
Yeah, let's ride on board. Let's see if we can even find, as we go to our camera here pointing backwards off this Chevrolet. Where is James Heater? Well, he is that yellow. He is the 3rd truck back there in line. That's the 18 of James Heater. That shows you the gap that Max Terriel has right now as Richard Murdoch comes down pit road. Joe Strano comes down pit road. So that will actually give the 18 clean track. The question being, though, can he lay down some qualifying laps here and catch the driver of the 42? Maurer is still out there on the raceway, though.
Yeah, Mauer's still showing as your race leader, but he's working through in the turn number 1, so he did not pit this time by as he comes through turns 1 and 2. Max Dario just coming off turn number 4, so about a straightaway, Roger, separating 1st and 2nd right now. James Heater is at the line now, so he's eating into that gap, but only 19 laps to do it, and he's got to lay down some quick laps. Last time by, 2/10 quicker than the 42 of Max Dario.
2/10 quicker than Max Terriel. I believe that James Heater will catch the 42, but you and I know catching him and passing him is 2 other things, as now Nathan Maurer will make his final pit stop here of the night. He brings the Bully Dog Silverado down. It will be the final time that this machine has to be serviced here this season, unless a yellow flag comes out at some point, but the racing has been strong. The racing has been good here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So as you see him still down on pit road, Max Terriel will take over the race lead here. 2.5 seconds back, there is James Heater. That's the race. That is the battle for the championship here left tonight.
Heater working through turns 3 and 4 last time by was still 2/10 quicker than the number 42 Ethereal. This time at the line, it was a 32.04 to a 31.7. So Heater is on the loud pedal trying to chase him down as they work through turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. That gap down to 2 seconds. It was at 2.5, so a half a second eaten away off from that gap, Roger. So I believe Heater might get there, but will he have any tires left to make a move on that 42 Ethereal?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be long in the run. Remember last time we got long into a run like what we have left here tonight, and the tires really started to equalize for Max Terriel to James Heater. Look for that to be more of a thing here, as we only have 16 laps to go, and it's still a 1.7 gap over your top 2. Justin Gann is still sitting there in 3rd after the green flag pit cycle. Todd Cray is sitting there in 4th. Eric Johnson, another one of your chase candidates here tonight, he is back there running in 5th. I mean, it's a solid night. It's where Eric Johnson has been all season long, just able to keep the consistency up here. Nathan Maurer just back here now. He is running in the 6th position after his final green flag pit cycle of the night. It was a 4-tire stop for him. He comes out now running in the 6th spot. Brandon Minto back there, the Minto's Minute Miller Lite entry. He is running in the 7th spot. Josh Buckley and his Miller Lite Deuce, he is running in 8th. Michael Bromley has moved up the DraftTop.com entry into the 9th spot. And Richard Murdoch, the Adventure in Pixels number 01, he is still running in the top 10. He is running 10th right now, 1 lap down.
Up front, things are starting to tighten up a little bit now. They work that lead down to under 1.5 seconds from 1st to 2nd as we go on the back camera. That yellow M&M's Tundra starting to get a little bit bigger in the camera.
Just 14 laps to go, 13 and a half to go, and it's down to a 1.3 second lead. He is going to get there, Al. That is no doubt in my mind at this point that the driver of that 18 will make it to the back bumper of Max Terriel. I'm still wondering How much is he going to have left in the tank when we get there? It's a question that keeps playing through my mind. And what if the monkey wrench gets thrown in? We have not seen a caution flag here tonight, but it's still out there.
It's still out there. The flagman has it in its holster, but hopefully it'll stay there, as the back straightaway is now about 25 truck lengths, as Hito really charging the entry to the corners, Roger. I really believe that is where he's making up a lot of his time. As they come off the corner, Max Dario's at the line now, as now Heater is at the line there. So now almost underneath a second. He is coming in a hurry. 12 laps to go. The championship on the line.
Right now, they are the only two that are really within strike, or, well, Heater is the only one within striking distance of your leader, because Justin Gann is about 8.2, 8.3 seconds back here behind that race lead, so he's not really in contention at this point. Todd Cray's even a little bit farther back, so neither of those top four drivers are there. Eric Johnson, he is sitting, well, it's about 18, almost 19 seconds back off the race leader. He runs in the 5th spot, so with only 11 laps to go, it'll be 10 to go next time by at the line, and the lead is shrunk once again. 3/10 now off that 1 second lead, so it's only 7/10 separating your two leaders.
Here's a question for you. Did Dario kind of cast out that line, saying, come get me, Heater, and not pushing his car? We've seen where Therio's lap times have consistently been 2 to 3 tenths slower than James Heater. Is he saving his stuff with now just 10 laps to go as they enter turn number 1? With the crafty veteran from Canada, the Storm from the North, is he saving up the Storm for when Heater gets there to really start pushing those tires there? Because Heater's tires have to be getting used up as they work down the backstretch.
Yeah, that time actually it looked like James Heater a little tight off of turn number 2. Maybe now that he is under a second, closing in on half a second gap between the two, the air is going to start to get dirtier. It's going to start to, tighten up the 18 as he is into the outside wall out of turn number 4. James Heater going to smack the outside wall coming out of turn 4. There is now visible damage on the 18. Did James Heater just throw it all away? We were talking about the dirty air, Al. Baby, that just played factors. Now both trucks here, running 1 and 2, have tore up right front fenders.
Yeah, well, that was a heavy contact to that Toyota Tundra as they work down in the turn number 1. We'll have to see if it looks like it has hurt the handle on the number 18 as they work off the corner. It doesn't look like he is closing in on Max Dario this time at the line. Dario was quicker than what Heater had been closing in on him. So 8 laps to go. Max Dario had to see that mistake in the back corner. We know that the championship was on the line. Heater pushed it to the left, to that edge, and maybe just jumped over it.
Well, that's unfortunate for the driver from Ohio, but he still has some laps to go yet before we cast out a champion this season. Max Theriault will come across the line. It'll be 7 laps to go. 7 laps around this very tricky 1.5 mile, and he has opened up the gap. Now, 1.1 seconds between him and James Heater as they work through turns 1 and 2. They're look down the back straightaway. They have the number 2 of Josh Buckley set in sights. That's going to be a lap truck to kind of play a little bit of havoc into the battle for the championship. We know we've been focusing on the 1 and 2 position here a lot tonight, but that is because they are the championship 2 hopefuls that are currently in position to win the championship with just 6 laps to go. Everybody is good on fuel, barring we go to overtime.
Yeah, it's been a clean green run, just like it was when the season started. Oh, so many weeks ago at the Talladega Superspeedway. Now we end up here in Atlanta, Georgia, as the Max Dario roars down the backstretch. This time by, they'll see the 5 laps to go sign as they come off turn number 4.
Yeah, just 5 laps to go. Max Theriault still holding that James Heater machine at about a 1.1 second gap between him and the lead, so nothing has changed out front. Take a peek back here. Where are your other drivers that were in the championship hunt? There you see the Dirty Mo radio of Eric Johnson. He is running in the 6th spot. It may not be a championship run, but it's going to be another great run for the driver of that 33. One driver that had a good start to the night that looked like he had a truck that might be able to win it It's this man right here, the 86 of James Skelton. He is not going to be a happy contender after this one. It has been a long, long night. He has one lap down currently to your race leaders. He is running in the 7th spot. He is actually trying to run down Richard Murdoch to see if he can at least put a little kind of star on top of this race to see if he can beat his buddy Richard Murdoch and have some poking fun in the offseason. But right now, it is still all Max Theriault. The gap has not shrank.
No, it kind of leveled out that 1 second mark, Roger. And you said longer in the race run. We did see the 2 trucks even out, and that's what we're seeing now. This time by 3 laps to go as Theriault comes off turn number 4.
Just 3 laps to go. Max Theriault looking to win his 2nd championship ever in the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. It is championship night. That means we're going to crown one of them here. James Heater still trying to give it one last go. Now he starts to reel that gap back in. It is under a second again with 3 laps to go. When they get back to the start-finish line, the popsicle sticks will be in the air as Theriault down the back straightaway. With just 2.5 laps to go, let's check the speed into turn number 3. The gap is starting to shrink again, but just not going to be fast enough. Max Theriault this time by. He will see the popsicle sticks in the air. Just 3 more miles of racing here on championship night.
Down in the turn number 1, he's got 8 more corners. Now make it 7. 6 corners to go. Separate Max Theriault from his championship. 2nd career championship in the Red Light Scrambler Series. But James Heater not giving up yet. That lead down to under 9/10 of a second behind Max Theriault. Down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. This time by the white silk will fly for the storm from the north. Max Theriault's going to get 1 lap to go, this time at the line.
Just 1 lap of racing to go before we crown the champion here. It's the first season of the 2020 season. Will it be Max Theriault coming back around here to win his 2nd championship? Or will the young gun of James Heater be able to pull a magic trick out of his hat? They are down the back straightaway for the final time.
Gap not shrinking enough. 9/10 of a second. Max Theriault's got to be perfect to turns 3 and 4. He'll come off of turn number 4. Checkered flag in the hand of the flagger. Max Theriault up the racetrack, going to hold on to it. Theriault's going to win and win the championship.
With Max Theriault coming across the line here tonight as the champion, James Heater is going to come across in 2nd. He is the 2nd man in the championship. Justin Gann will bring the RB Custom Rigs home in the 3rd spot. Todd Cray is 4th, and Nathan Maurer rounds out the top 5, but it is all about the man here tonight. He not only wins the race, he wins the championship. What a feat here for Max Theriault, being able to rebound after a disastrous race the other night. He comes back here and proves that he still is the wily veteran that everybody has to tame and beat to win a championship here. It is the old guard dog, as a lot of them gotta say. So congratulations to the 42 of Max Theriault, James Heater, who comes home 2nd here tonight, and Justin Gann. All the other chase contenders, they filed in. 6th for Eric Johnson, and then a 7th place for James Skelton. Looks like the 42 will come down here. He will do a little bit of celebrating for you fans here at Atlanta. So as he celebrates, we're going to step away for just a moment, let him celebrate, and we'll be back here with your post-race show with, well, it looks like we're at least get to talk to 2 of your top 3 drivers and a champion here in Red Light Racing for the Scrambler Series. Welcome back here, race fans, to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is championship night, and we have crowned a champion. We have a race winner, and, well, wouldn't you know it? It is one in the same. Max Theriault, you have parked this 42 down here on the start-finish line. You not only win the race, but you win the championship. Tell us about tonight and what it means to be here in Victory Lane.
Yeah, how about that? 2 weeks in a row, caution-free races. Tonight, the pit stops, they made the difference. Next to last stint, I had to do everything I could to keep James behind me. I changed my racing line. It was really tight following another truck, so I knew it was hard for him to pass me then. And at the end, I know I looked in my mirror. He pushed a little bit with 10 to go, and that was enough for me to keep a good enough lead to just hit my marks and wind up those finishing laps without hopefully any cautions.
Yeah, but it wasn't as easy as you make it sound here. About the middle stages of the race, this 42 got a little arrow push down the back straightaway, and it actually ended up touching the outside wall there. You got some right side damage. How much did it affect this 42? And were you worried at that point about James Heater and how fast that Toyota was here tonight?
I didn't feel any negative impact. It would be funny to say that it made me faster, but I don't think that's what it did. I really had to change my entries in 1 and 3, and watching James come from behind, from so far behind, that's probably when I took the most opportunity to learn what made him so fast, because running behind him on the first 20 or 22 laps, it just felt way too tight to run any line, and the line that I adjusted to at the end of the race, it didn't work for me last night in practice or earlier tonight, but once race time came, that was the fastest way around for the long run.
Well, all in all, tonight's got to feel like a good night. You win it, the race here, you win the championship, but look back over the season. This winds up being your 5th win here in the Scrambler Series. You didn't just do it with the truck. You didn't just do it with the Xfinity car. You did it with the Cup car, too. Looking back through the season, which one of the 3, we'll call it series of vehicles that we run, were your favorite this season?
That's what I like about this series. I like all 3. I like the Cup cars with the full power, so at the shorter tracks when we can run Richmond and Martinsville and stuff like that, that's what I like the most. But it's all about the competition. There's some very stiff competition when both Jameses are on top of their game. Sean, Eric is always hanging around at the end of every race in the top 5. And I can only think that next year it'll be a different challenge once we get the new 87 models in with the
Well, it looks like maybe we have lost Max. Max, you still have us here? Well, it looks like maybe Max's connection from north of the border has kind of lost connection with our team speak here. Max, we do congratulate you and the whole crew on winning this championship here tonight. Congratulations on winning your 2nd championship in the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series division. As it looks like maybe we have lost connection here to our team speak, and see if we can recap that. If not, well, Max Terriel does win here tonight. James Heater comes home second in the championship. Justin Gann is 3rd, as it looks like we are being disconnected. So, race fans, until we catch you just next season with the Red Light Racing Series, for everybody at Red Light Racing, I'm Roger Muth. And thank you for tuning in and joining us on this championship battle that Max Terriel will win here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Still catch all your Red Light Racing action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network on a Thursday night as the SK Modified Division, as I believe we now maybe have reestablished connection possibly. Let's see if we have. Max, are you still here with us? Possibly not having still connection. So we do thank all you race fans for your dedicated support here with the Red Light Racing Series. We will be back in action on Monday night with the Scrambler Series, as we're going to add the 87 car along with some short tracks that they're going to run on, and we're going to bring a new title sponsor to you. We are going to bring the RB Rigs, Custom Sim Rigs, as our title sponsor just next season. So once again, for everybody at the Turn 3 Racing Network, for Al Smith joining me in the booth this year, and everybody behind the scenes at the Red Light Racing Series, we thank you for tuning in, and continue to join us and catch us live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.